It's time for Futures in Focus. The dollar and base metals sinking as the U.S. moves to impose more tariffs on Chinese goods. We're awaiting the details. Let's go to Scott Gecas of Longleaf Trading at the CME. Scott, it's good to see you. So we've obviously had a long back and forth already on trade now. What is the trader's assessment of this latest, waiting for the details on the tariffs and also looking like perhaps talks are not going to go anywhere in the short term?
Well, yeah, that's the biggest thing that it's been for pretty much the last 4 or 5 months. It's just due to headline risk, Trump risk, the Chinese trade war talks going back and forth. It looks like those trade war talks are not going to materialize too much in the next few weeks, and it's definitely being attributed to the new tariffs. But if you look at the tariffs of what is being proposed and what is being actually implemented, I mean, the scale is from extreme to extreme. So now with the new tariffs, we're looking at around 10% versus at 25%. So we're really worried about, headline risk, public perception, because everything is so accessible from pretty much any computer in the world. The markets are reacting for every headline left and right. You have the high frequency traders pushing markets one way or the other due to the headline risk. In the past, in theory, the flight to safety was always going to the metals, going to bonds. You're not seeing that now, and you're seeing that rushing to the U.S. dollar. Now, we have seen some risk off with the U.S. dollar. We've seen a lot of outflow of cash from the U.S. dollar from Thursday, last Friday, and even from some today. You're seeing that being pushed in some of the other emerging markets, but we're really going to be focusing on what's going to come out through the headlines right now. We need a close in the U.S. dollar above that 93, 95, 94 area.
And on the metal side, we've got copper taking a hit today. I think aluminum is down as well. What are you watching as sort of the proxies here? I mean, the dollar you mentioned, obviously, but we have some reaction in stocks, but not a huge reaction in stock futures. So where are you seeing the most concentrated reaction?
Well, with the metals across the board, like I said earlier, the flight to safety hasn't been going to the metals, and that is confirmed by the largest short interest in all of the metals, gold, silver, as well as copper, that we have seen since about 2014. Even with the positive Chinese housing market, that was not able to give any type of support to copper. So that is definitely going to be for us to keep an eye on of what is going to come out of this trade war talk. If we get any positive news out of these trade war talks, we expect a little bit of a lift in copper.
And also, of course, you've got U.S. housing use of copper. You've got China's use of copper as well as the biggest consumer of copper. So obviously that would present a big challenge for copper prices going forward if things worsen.
Yeah, and that's correct. One thing that needs to be noted is with the Shanghai index, with all the copper stocks, they've been down for 11 straight weeks. So with that being said, that short interest is still being confirmed with that move, and we're not seeing any type of a bounce until something positive news comes out of China with the trade war talks.